to start the meeting?
Oh, hell, go ahead. It doesn't matter. Wonder why.
Is Councilor Bartholomew still there? I don't see Councilor Smith. Is Councilor Smith still with us?
Okay, there's Councilor Smith. Councilor Bartholomew, are you there?
Yes.
Okay. Great, all right. I'll call this Wednesday, June 15th, CARA meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Yes. Member Smith,
Present.
Olson,
Here.
Novak. Here. Bartholomew,
Here.
Kosinski.
Here.
Alex Johnson II.
Here.
Leslie Johnson.
Here.
All members present.
Okay, thank you. Now the next agenda item is the approval of minutes for April 25th and May 11th, 2022.
Move to approve.
Second.
And a second, okay. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 This is the delay, sorry. Any opposed, say nay? Okay, minutes are approved. So now, agenda 4 is business from the public. Sophie, has anyone signed up?
No one has signed up.
Okay, so, I guess now's the time. Anybody here has anything?
You want to speak?
I didn't sign up, is that, I don't know if that's okay.
I'm confused. I thought he was supposed to not speak to Kara because he's supposed to speak to Eric.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is that, if there's anybody here,
That's for a meeting, yeah.
yeah, so, yeah, we can.
It's
do
okay.
that. If you can get it in 3 minutes, we'd be
I
good.
can do that.
All right.
You're gonna want to turn the mic on a little bit before we start.
Just state your name, don't give us your address, we know where to put
So, turn it on. Oh, my name is Matt Bennett, and in Albany, Oregon. So, since the previous era meeting when we did it the wrong way, I want to apologize for blindsiding everyone. That was not our intention, but we didn't see any other way. So I do apologize for that, and I do respect the system. Put that out there first. Also, since that time, we've had some, we've advanced a bit with the property. So we didn't own the property at that time. We do own the property outright now. Hamid and Tim Siddiqui were able to make that happen, and so we own the property outright. Also, since that time, staff has been great and given us direction with their with stuff that they would like changed in that initial proposal that you got a month ago, and so we did change that to the proposal that you have today that was emailed to you, I believe, and we're trying to address all of that, and that's kind of we just wanted to make sure that everybody got that and everybody got a shot to read that, and that was, yeah, that's Riles.
As everyone knows, I've been trying to retire, but when Matt asked me to help him with this, there's no way I could say no. This is the right thing to do for the town, for the citizens. You know, everyone knows my opinion. You have the town and you have the city. The city is the infrastructure, the police, the fire. The town are people that pay your taxes, and without which we wouldn't be here. And not supporting small businesses, and the very invention of CARA is to allow for public-private partnerships, not to spend money on infrastructure you already have to spend. It doesn't have to go from you to us and back to you to spend it. It's just the right thing to do. But you guys do what you want to do.
Thank you, Matt and Bill. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Now we'll go to number 5, the Wells Fargo discussion and direction, we pretty much covered it.
Do you feel that we're done with this? No, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
Pardon me.
that's okay. The Wells Fargo discussion, we pretty much covered it in Kara, so, we were to make a motion. It was referred to us, so I guess we have to make the motion to, approve what Kara Board had sent us.
No, we don't have to move what the Carroll Board recommended. They were just in our advisory board.
Yes, well, they recommended, right, and the motion was to move that staff, give the costs and timeline to demolish Wells Fargo building. I don't know if there's, you want to make a motion for Eric?
I'll make a motion to give staff direction to put together a cost estimate and also a projected timeline for the demolition of the Wells Fargo building on First Avenue.
Great. Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay, great, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion, any clarification?
A little bit of discussion, if this is okay, and I just want to be out of line, but I'm just wondering if that demolition comes in at a rate of money where we have the funds that we could support this project that was brought before us, is it possible that we are going to consider that?
We have a matter we need to close before we go on to the next.
Right, from what so with this, let's go ahead and that will be with business from the agency. So all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes, so we look forward to getting the costs and timeline for the Wells Fargo building. Maybe we can find something there. Any staff updates?
No staff, or not there maybe, right, if it goes through with demolition, no staff updates.
No. Now, business from the agency, Councilor Novak?
So I'll just repeat what I said a moment ago, in the appropriate timeframe. Thanks, everyone, for giving me grace. I would hope very much that if it turns out that we have the funds, that we can help the Silvers project, that we would direct these funds to do that, because I think it fits the bill perfectly for what Kara is designed to do. And I would just really like to see that happen.
Okay, so noted. And, yes.
Yes, I'll have to admit that I'm somewhat flabbergasted that some of the folks on the advisory board, after all these years that we've been working with this project, and the capstone culmination has been the waterfront project, indicated that they didn't see any kind of a wow factor. When you look at what happened in Corvallis, what's happening in McMinnville, we have the same opportunity to make the same kind of results here. So absolutely, I think there's a wow factor in doing the waterfront project.
And I was going to make a comment. I did not get to go on the tour of Independence. From what I gathered, everyone thought it was great. It did have a wow factor. I would, that's just my comment to what you're saying, so. Okay.
Yes, and my kid Jared lives in McMinnville, by the way, and they're doing great things in McMinnville, but there's no waterfront there.
He's on
Independence, my bad choice.
Oh, okay.
Independence,
All right.
pardon me.
Oh, he was,
Is he done?
yeah, he was spoken, yeah.
Okay, so let's see.
Oh, go to the screen because they're waiting long.
Okay, Councilor Smith?
I just wanted to comment that my brain just, I have had a COVID fog moment. And I can't remember what I was going to say, so I'll pass for the.
Okay, if you think of it, just come back. Okay, let's see. I see you in 3 windows.
Where's Councilor not there?
Here are multiple windows.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Councilor Bartholomew there? I don't see Councilor Bartholomew.
And Councilor Bartholomew?
No more call me when we get 2 Smiths. Hey.
There she is.
Okay, yes, Councilor Bartholomew, do you have anything from the agency?
I've been thinking as we've been meeting here tonight that we've had several people coming to us over the past year or so that I've been here on the council, asking for support from Kara. And we do have to make a choice if we would be supporting Sybaris, which would be a personal support of mine, that it would be something that would be not in line with what we've been doing, which is not considering projects. At those times, we did not have available funds. And I think that currently, since we don't have the funds currently available that are being requested, and there might be a possibility for it in the future, I would think that we should have a discussion about it at that time, because I do think that we need to continue to go forward with the waterfront project as we have committed to, because it is our first priority after after we have done the St. Francis. Thank you.
Okay, good point, thank you. Let's see, who's next? Yes, Council Wilson?
Yes, Councilor has suggested McMinnville, and it's a waterfront that is promoting. They don't have a waterfront in McMinnville, but they are doing great things. And in fact, they have a new hotel there. And McMinnville, they have concentrated on their main street. And that new hotel, they can charge $350 per night to rent the room. And they're really doing great. And they're doing great because they concentrated on their main street, not a waterfront. So, I would like to add to Councilor Novak's comment that this probably is one of the most attractive proposals that we've had for a long time. It's a historic building from the standpoint of railroads. It's a historic building from the standpoint of design. We've got a restaurateur who is famous not only in the Willamette Valley, but I think all of Oregon and also in New York City where he wins prizes. And I can't think of a more deserving project than this one. And I would like to suggest that we do award him $545,000 to make his project pencil out, which, you know, so many people say about Kara, well, those people have all that money, they don't need public money. And I say back to them, they're doing well because a project comes up and it pencils out and they do it. And in the case of our downtown, as we heard, the old buildings that are here, some of them are older than others, but they don't pencil out because they're here and you can't afford to tear them down by yourself, and then build a new one. Sure, it's always cheaper to build new stuff on bare ground. But that was the whole reason for starting this Kara Urban Renewal Project, was to make the downtown pencil out so it will survive, will be an attractive place to live, attractive place to have a business, an attractive place to enjoy what's there for the rest of the city. So, Councilor Novak didn't make a motion, but I will. I'll make a motion that we ask our Kara staff to find some way that we can allocate $545,000 to this project, and I'll make that a motion.
I would second that,
Okay.
because I believe in it as strongly as you do.
Okay, I'm gonna take the privilege for the chair. We have actually closed any new projects. And so this would be going against what we have already decided quite a while ago. And we've had other people come and ask for money, and they were turned down because of this reason. And so, I'll honor the motion and the second, and so, ask for other discussion on this. One other thing. You take this, you're taking money from something else that we've already kind of dedicated, so, sometimes you have to stick to your guns, and I know it's emotional, I know it's a great project, and, so I would ask for any other, okay, Councilor Smith, please.
Thanks. And thank you for bringing up the fact that other people have come to CARA and ARA with proposals since the door was shut earlier. The ones that I recall since I've been on the council, and I think the door was shut shortly before I was elected, the other proposals have come from the Cumberland Church and from Sid Stevens, and neither one of them were proposals. They were, if you've got some money, I'd like to do this, or we could use some money to go towards our project. They were not detailed line item proposals like Mr. Bennett has presented. He's fleshed it out. He's got a spreadsheet. He's got a plan. He's got traditional financing. And so if we were going to consider a proposal, I believe this is the only one that we have that merits that description. The other thing I wanted to mention earlier that slipped through my COVID fog was that early in my career working for the city, it was about the time that Corvallis did their waterfront, the waterfront that now we hear other people are going to because they like to shop there, and there's nothing like it in Albany. We had a counselor in office for some time in those days who referred to that as that over-engineered nightmare. And apparently it's not a nightmare to other people anymore, or maybe it never was for some, but I think what the wow factor that we may not have seen yet with our waterfront is going to happen when it's done. And people are going to go down to Water Avenue and say, wow, look at that. And it may not be a little thing. It may be the whole thing, that the atmosphere is going to be different. Like I'll feel safe walking down the Dave Clark path or something. It may be a nebulous thing that you can't point to right now, like the Eiffel Tower. It's the wow factor is lurking in there. It's hard to envision it from blue line drawings. So I'm thinking that's a likelihood of what's going to happen. I'm done for now. Thank you.
So,
Thank you, Councilor Smith. Yes, Mr. Mayor?
my business from the council agency.
Yes.
So I've heard the discussion today, and a lot of it was circular.
I'm sorry, we do have a motion, a second on the floor. I'm sorry,
No
so,
problem.
Oh, you did discuss
Yes.
the motion?
No, I'm just gonna go ahead and give my business from the agency, but she's
okay,
correct.
so
You're
yeah, we
absolutely
have a
correct.
motion on the floor, so, let's see. I think we've heard from, is it any more discussion?
Well, I have something that I think is relevant to discussion, because you had mentioned, Madam Chairwoman, that you weren't able to attend the field trip, and I know that. And I will say there was a wow factor in Independence, but for me, that wow factor was the fact that their entire waterfront, I mean, their entire, you can see that their whole thing is along the water. It's a completely different situation than Albany, and they have, as the wow factor, where we met and had our discussion with their mayor, a hotel that is the anchor for their wow. We have no such thing in our plans, and I just want to point that out, because to me, that hotel was it. That hotel was the wow factor, and the fact that you can see walking all the way along there, walking to the hotel, from one end of the river to the other. It's like on the river. Our situation is not like that. It's just different.
Yes, it is.
That's not the same, Francis,
Yes, it
it
is.
might not be this right on the waterfront, but that's.
It's different.
It's gonna be different, yeah, so I appreciate that. Okay, great.
I see Councilor Bartholomew's got her hand up.
Oh, I'm sorry, Councilor Bartholomew.
Thank you, Chair. Johnson, I appreciate the remarks from Councilor Smith. I have a question for Seth. Hopefully, Mr. Sherry, he can jog my memory. At one point, did we use CARA funding to support an elevator for the Natty Dresser?
Yes, we did.
That's correct.
Okay, so there is some precedent for us to have that consideration. Thank you.
Before we locked it down. It was before we shut everything off.
Yeah, it was.
So we're gonna vote or what we're gonna do?
Okay, yes, all the discussion now, so all in favor of the motion to, give the funding to Sybaris, say aye.
Aye.
Right,
All opposed, say no.
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 Sophie, could we have a roll call, please?
Yes. Also, just to clarify, the motion I had written down was ask staff to find some way to get $545,000 to the Sybaris project.
Okay, great.
that was my motion, yes.
Member Smith,
No,
Olson,
Yes,
Novak,
Yes.
Bartholomew,
Not yet.
Kosinski,
No.
Alex Johnson II,
No.
Bessie Johnson.
No.
Motion failed. Correct.
That's six of us.
Oh, that's right, you get to vote, sorry.
I get to vote this time.
You get to vote. I'm like, maybe there was another dead person in there, you don't know.
And I'm more business from agency now.
Yes, please.
So we had a lot of discussion tonight about this whole process. The thing is that at the last meeting, Carrie, we talked about an hour about a project that we couldn't do anything about until ARA gave direction to staff to make whatever changes. So we've done what we asked Manager Sherry to do and Sophie. They're gonna come back to us with some costs and they're gonna give us a schedule. And then we can make decisions from that point, that this was gonna cost, and if there's any revenue available, then we can open things up. We cannot do that until we have that information back from them. So, but I want to keep everybody, we have to stay the course until we know what's going on with Wells Fargo, if there's any revenue available, once we get that number. It may be 500,000, it may be 400,000, but we still have to wait until we know what's going on with Wells Fargo. Second thing is we cannot direct the revenue to one person because it's public money. So if we open it back up, we have to be willing to accept other bids to compete for that dollar. So that's another thing. We love Matt, the food is phenomenal. And anyway, we all love Matt and the benefits about the restaurant. But if we open up the money for public bidding, that means other projects will come in. We have to consider all of them. Last thing is that as I moved here in 1994 to work a job at HP, people hated what they were doing for their waterfront. The same thing with Independence, because I refereed sports up there for the last 25 years. They hated everything with that waterfront. But I can guarantee you right now, you go ask any one of those people if they would go back to where they were, and they're going to say no. Because yes, we don't have a hotel, but if we break ground and show an investor that we're doing what we said we're going to do, People are gonna invest in the city of Albany, and it's our job as the leaders, elected leaders of this city, not only to have sight for what's going on right now, we also have to have vision for the people that are gonna come here later. The waterfront's gonna be done, we're gonna have a plaque put up with our names on it, but we're gonna be dead when that freshman in high school right now, or that fourth grader brings back their family to show them their city. So, yes, we have to have sight to keep the lights on, the sewers working, the parks pretty, the roads right. But we also have to have vision for that next 2 or 3 generations, because that waterfront, that's gonna be a 50, 100-year deal. And so, yes, you may not see a wow factor, but wow, when things start happening like they happened in Independence or Corrales, then it's gonna be the wow, right? And so when I hear these arguments, it really is frustrating, because we have to have not just sight, we have to have vision. We have to stick to that vision. We agreed we're gonna work on these 3 projects. If there's a change, the economic development folks will make that happen for us. And the last thing is that if we don't do our jobs for the future of Albany, Albany's future will look totally different and be a lot bleaker. We're the only city on the waterfront with its size that does not capitalize on the revenue possibilities of its waterfront. Mayor McCarl told us that 10,000 people realized $6 million in revenue annually because they did their project. What are we waiting for? We have 10 times more people than them, or 5 times more people than them, and we're sitting on gold mines and we're not willing to work to get it done. We have got to stop diverting the course. Let's figure out the waterfront, the Wells Fargo building, make some decisions, and get the waterfront done. That's all I have to say.
I agree, and I believe Director Sherry said many moons ago that because we're doing the waterfront, businesses are already interested in coming to Albany, coming to the area and, building or whatever.
There's been a lot of examples of that. You guys might appreciate, spent half a day yesterday in a town south of us with the most successful mixed-use residential, commercial, retail, and hospitality developer in the whole area who reached out to us specifically and said, you guys really doing the waterfront? Let's talk. And we're providing maps and talking about potential development opportunities there. It's a tough place because we don't build hotels. And you might remember from Independence, they build infrastructure to attract that kind of investment. And from day one of this project, just so you're aware, one of the specific discussions was how do you build an environment that attracts that kind of investment. So it was encouraging to get the quality. We've had 2 discussions like that now, legitimate discussions of wanting to invest big dollars because of that. So take that for what you will, but I want to pass it on to you.
I appreciate that, thank you. Okay, if there is no other business, the next meeting is Wednesday, July 20th. Is that gonna be a full Kara board and then Era? Or is it just Era?
Well, there was one question to staff posed this evening by the ARA group, and that was what's the cost of demolition and a timeline to do that for the Wells Fargo project. So we can report on that,
Okay.
and that would be an ARA meeting.
Okay, that sounds good. All right, so with that, we are adjourned. Thank you.